Imagine a time over 5,000 years ago, when Egypt was just beginning to rise from the sands of the desert into the powerhouse of the ancient world we know today. In the shadows of the pyramids and great pharaohs, a mysterious figure emerges, a woman whose name has intrigued historians for generations, Queen Merneith. But who was she? Was she merely a queen, or something much more? A ruler in her own right. Merneith, whose name means beloved of Neith, a war goddess and deity of hunting, was a royal woman who lived during Egypt's First Dynasty, around 3000 BCE. Her life and reign are cloaked in the mists of time, but the little we do know is fascinating. As the wife of Pharaoh Den and the mother of Pharaoh Den, her story is one that touches the very core of Egypt's royal history, and it might reveal a rare case of a woman who wielded power in a male-dominated world. The evidence of Merneith's importance is scattered across the sands of Egypt, buried under layers of history, waiting to be uncovered. Archaeologists have found her name inscribed in several ancient relics, most notably in her tomb at Abydos, one of the earliest royal burial sites in Egypt. But here's where it gets interesting. Her tomb is unlike those of other royal women of her time. It is a grand complex, complete with its own subsidiary graves, a feature reserved for kings. Could this mean that Merneith was more than just a queen consort, that she was a ruler in her own right? Historians have debated this question for years, trying to piece together the sparse evidence left behind. Some believe that Merneith may have acted as a regent, a temporary ruler, when her son Den was too young to take the throne. If true, this would make Merneith one of the earliest known female rulers in history, predating the likes of Hatshepsut and Cleopatra by over 1,000 years. Imagine, a woman at the very dawn of Egyptian civilization, holding the reins of power in a time when female leadership was almost unheard of. Merneith's possible regency is not without its complications. The records from this period are scarce, and those that do exist are often fragmented or ambiguous. Her name does not appear in the official king lists compiled much later in Egyptian history, which is often cited as evidence that she did not rule as a pharaoh. However, her burial at Abydos and her title inscriptions suggest she held a unique status, one that defies simple categorization. What makes her case even more intriguing is the fact that Merneith is the only woman whose tomb is located among those of the First Dynasty kings. Her tomb, numbered Tomb Y at Abydos, is almost identical in size and design to those of male rulers. It includes an elaborate funerary complex with numerous subsidiary burials, believed to be the graves of servants or officials who accompanied her to the afterlife, a custom reserved for royalty. This suggests that her status was extraordinary, not just for a woman, but for any ruler of her time. Merneith's role as a potential regent, or even as a ruler, challenges our understanding of ancient Egyptian society. Egypt, after all, was a civilization that prided itself on stability and continuity. The idea that a woman could step in, wielding authority over one of the most powerful kingdoms of the ancient world, forces us to rethink our assumptions about gender roles and power dynamics in early dynastic Egypt. But how did Merneith come to power? It is likely that she gained her influence through her marriage to Pharaoh Den. After his death, her young son Den was next in line for the throne, but too young to rule independently. This scenario would have placed Merneith in a position of regency, acting as the kingdom's temporary leader until her son was old enough to assume full control. Her authority, therefore, would have been both legitimate and essential, ensuring the stability of the dynasty during a potentially turbulent period. There are several inscriptions and artifacts that further hint at her role as a regent. For instance, a seal impression discovered in her tomb at Abydos includes her name alongside her son Den's, and in one case, her name appears before his. In a culture where precedence mattered greatly, this could be interpreted as a sign of her authority. Moreover, other archaeological finds, such as her stela, a stone slab inscribed with her name, were found among the stelae of the male kings, further suggesting her elevated status. Yet, for all this evidence, there remains a frustrating lack of definitive proof. The absence of her name on the king lists might suggest that her role, though significant, was considered unofficial or temporary. However, this does not diminish her importance in the fabric of early Egyptian history. Merneith may not have been crowned with the double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt, but her presence in the annals of history is undeniable, and she remains a symbol of female power in an era when such power was rare. As we delve deeper into Merneith's story, we must also consider the broader context of her time. The First Dynasty was a period of great experimentation and consolidation in Egyptian history, as the newly unified kingdom sought to establish its identity and traditions. In such a formative era, the role of a strong, capable leader, whether male or female, would have been crucial. It's not hard to imagine that Merneith's regency was a stabilizing force, helping to lay the foundations for the grandeur and power that Egypt would achieve in the centuries to come. Merneith's story is not just a tale of a queen, or even a regent, but a story that illuminates the very beginnings of one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever known. Her life and her possible rule serve as a reminder that, even in the ancient world, women could and did wield power in remarkable ways. Her legacy is one of strength, resilience, and mystery, a legacy that continues to captivate us thousands of years later. But what was daily life like for Merneith? What challenges might she have faced as a woman in a position of such influence and authority? Managing the affairs of state, overseeing construction projects, and navigating the complex web of court politics, all while ensuring her son's future as the next pharaoh, would have required exceptional skill and diplomacy. She would have had to maintain the loyalty of the royal court, balance the interests of powerful nobles, and perhaps even lead military campaigns to protect Egypt's borders, or assert its influence over rival territories. Merneith's role would not have been an easy one, especially given the uncertainty of the times. Her position as a female ruler, even if only as a regent, would have been unprecedented and likely controversial. How did she maintain her authority? Did she face resistance from those who believed that leadership should rest solely with a man? These are questions that we may never be able to fully answer, but they paint a picture of a woman who had to be both strong and wise to navigate the treacherous waters of early dynastic politics. Her legacy, too, is tied to the goddess Neith, a powerful symbol of both war and creation. By associating herself with Neith, Merneith may have been sending a message to her people, that she was both a protector and a creator, a leader who could defend the kingdom and guide it through its early years of formation. In a time when symbolism was everything, this connection to a deity known for strength and strategy would have been a powerful statement of her own capabilities. As we consider her story, we are left with more questions than answers, but perhaps that is what makes Merneith so compelling. A figure shrouded in mystery, whose life challenges our understanding of ancient Egypt. She stands as a testament to the hidden power of women in history, a force that, even in the shadows, shaped the course of human civilization. So, as we conclude this journey into the distant past, let's remember Queen Merneith, a woman who may have stood at the crossroads of history, guiding Egypt through its earliest days of greatness. Her story, like so many from the ancient world, is incomplete, but what little we know is enough to inspire wonder and admiration. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into ancient Egypt and want to hear more stories from history's hidden corners, please like this video and subscribe to Historical Highway. We have so much more to share, and we'd love for you to join us on this journey through time.